Booker T, 5-time WCW champion. You listen to WNS podcast. Now, can you dig that, sucker?
You are now listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Hebert, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I am Tyler Hebert.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 277 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNSvideo, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
You can find the podcast on Twitter. We're at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. And Tyler's at Tyler_Hebert.
There you go. So welcome to the show. Got a little bit to talk about this week. I won't be surprised if it's kind of a short episode, so listener beware if you're expecting a long episode like we've given in the past. This might not be the episode for you because we have one little bit of feedback. We have some Raw to talk about, a couple hot topics, one question in the Q&A section. But other than that, it should be a fairly short show, I would think, but who knows? We might get into.
Did you say is it shorter than Mike's?
No, it's not. It's not shorter than Mike's.
Okay,
because his were super short.
It's really super short show.
Yes, so ours are obviously going to be longer than that, but we do welcome you all to the show, and thank you for it. So, how you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah,
sir. Good, sir.
Doing good. Hanging in there.
Good Samaritan.
Samaritan.
Yeah.
Have I done something to warrant that, or?
Yes.
What have I done?
No, I don't know.
You don't know. All right. Did you have a good weekend? A good Memorial weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Had some good parties.
Yes.
There was you'll probably think this is funny. I had a surprise birthday party for a friend.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are liars.
Yeah.
I found that out.
Yeah.
Filled with deceit.
Yeah. Who lied to you?
Everyone.
Like
you.
No, I didn't lie to you.
Your wife.
Well, yeah, she's
my wife.
Yeah, they're liars.
My friends, my family, they all lied to me. They all said they weren't coming to my party because they had planned a party of their own, but it was for me, so it made it a little more okay. Doug is the only innocent one here because he didn't say whether he would go to my party or not.
I said I was coming to your party.
That makes you a liar.
No, because I came to it.
Wasn't my party. It was a party for me, but it wasn't my party.
So
I didn't host that party.
But you're the one that canceled it.
Doug, how are you today?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready for some vacation time?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Ready to get out and take a well-deserved break. So,
are you going to venture out to, or is NXT doing some stuff? And
there is, but it's sold out.
Lame.
Okay.
That stinks. Well, let's, I guess we'll dive on into it. So Doug will not be here, just to let everyone know, for the next couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Probably the rest of the month.
Yeah.
I might be back the last week of the month. I have to look at a calendar to know.
Yeah. So just be forewarned. If you're looking to listen to Doug, he will not be here for the next 3 to 4 episodes. So I hope you have a very good time and enjoy. Are you driving or flying?
Driving.
Driving. Ooh, that's gonna be.
Is there something that you're specifically looking forward to?
I don't know. I'm just happy to not be at work. So.
Yeah. I feel you there. So, yeah, I know I'm getting ready for Comic Palooza. Going to be taking place later this month. Also, the Icons of Wrestling and House of Hardcore show that's going to be coming to Pasadena. That's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be booking it, heading over there.
Comic Palooza. Who's going to be there wrestling wise?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I also saw
Taylor Hendricks, I believe.
From ROH.
Yeah.
There was Arn
Anderson, yeah, he's going to be out there as well. And some of the talent from Hurricane Pro, our local wrestling promotion, is going to be out at Comic Palooza.
Doomsday.
Yes, Doomsday Wrestling is going to be out there as well. So it should be a lot of fun.
I feel like there's someone else that they're bringing in that that I'm missing?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I'll research it later.
Yeah, we'll do some looks.
And then House of Hardcore.
Yeah.
It's going to be a comic convention and a wrestling show.
Yeah, Icons of Wrestling and Comic Collector Fest, followed by House of Hardcore. So Tommy Dreamer, Mickey James, Carlito, MVP so far
We'll be
announced.
there.
Billy Gunn, One Man Gang, he's going to be out there
One
too.
Man Gang.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
So, yeah. We're not just going to be there, we're going to be part of it.
Yes.
Because we have a vendor booth. So for those of you who are listening in the state of Texas or who want to make an extra long drive to Pasadena near Houston, make sure you mark your calendars in August. We'll give the further details as we get closer. But
you say the state of Texas, like Texas isn't a big fucking state, though you could take like 12 hours to drive across.
If you're willing to drive from El Paso, then you're willing to drive from like Mississippi, because it's actually probably a shorter drive from Mississippi than it is El Paso.
Sure it is.
So yeah. So anyone who wants to make the trek down to Pasadena to check out House of Hardcore, we hope to see you all out there. So it should be a lot of fun. I've been stocking up. I've made a few purchases. Doug, I've already used the gift card you gave me for my birthday. I bought some new microphones that we're going to be able to use in case anyone wants to stop by our booth and do a little chat.
Sweet.
It's going to be really cool. I got some lavalier microphones and a nice splitter. So.
We'll have our stuff set up. You'll have your laptop.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully
Talk to people. Have, you're going to have a laptop and let the show play and let people listen? Or?
I haven't decided yet. Well, I think we oughta. We'll have a meeting or something one day and discuss what all we want to do. Because my booth, or I say it's our booth, and then you'll have your area for selling as well. So I think they're going to be side by side.
I'll have a lot of collectibles.
Mm-hmm. Should be pretty cool. So looking forward to it. But with that being said, let's dive into the feedback that we got from this week. Only one feedback, and it's from Ace McSpade saying, Thumbtack City, do it. So.
Oh, just like a slogan?
I think they want to see you falling on some thumbtacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I said, what,
300 was the
$300?
asking price, I believe.
Is that what I said, 300?
Something like that. That was the bare minimum you would do that.
Still, we got to think about it. I'd said it off the top of my head, but I'm also nervous about it, too.
Well, I mean, it's obviously going to hurt.
Yes, for sure.
So it's just a matter of,
man up.
Doing it. So we'll see how that all plays out. But let's dive into Raw as we get closer to Money in the Bank. I don't know. I know, Doug, you did not watch this Raw with us, with myself and Tyler.
I usually don't.
Yeah, normally. But you're always welcome if you'd like to.
It's usually just like by the time I get home, I'm just like off of work. I'm just like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm just gonna sink in
and I'll
this
have
fucking-
cable, so I have to bum off someone.
Before we go into our normal match by match, what did you think of this Raw?
I heard that they were like rewriting it, or the word was, maybe it's just a rumor. There is not a lot of truth to, and maybe it was just people looking at the show and making assumptions. But I think they were rewriting the show as it was happening.
Wow.
It felt like it.
I mean,
on certain spots.
I think that they've double backed on some big angles. So I think that may be I think with the brand extension and the possible, we're assuming a draft is coming, although I don't think it's been official yet.
They're making it seem like there will be.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be, but they haven't specifically said we're going to draft yet. But with all that sort of looming, it feels like they've made some changes to like overall the bigger creative pictures, and I think that may have had something to do with it. Also, I heard there was some big sports game on that maybe they just weren't interested in competing with, or didn't actually try to compete with. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like Game 7 of an NBA semifinal or something like that, determine who goes to play for the championship. But I guess we can talk about one of the hot topics, and that was the news that broke the day after we recorded last week's show, which tends to happen. There's always something going on. So WWE announced that SmackDown is going to be going live on Tuesday nights. They normally record the show on Tuesday nights and air it on Thursday, but they've decided, no, we'd like to go live, and talks of the brand split have returned.
And it's going to be on USA.
It's going to be on the USA Network.
I don't know that they specifically made that call. I think it's probably at the request of USA.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing what they can to please USA, because when their rights deal comes up, I think they're hoping to be in better standing for what they're going to make off the TV.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are questioning, are we going to see the brand split, or is it going to be more of the same of what we already have? And that sort of played into the opening segment of Raw.
Well, they said specifically that they're going to have unique rosters on the announcement or whatever.
But that seems weird. If they said unique, like it's not like the brand split. They're saying it a little different.
Yeah.
Well, unique. Something... I mean, if a wrestler is unique to one show, then they wouldn't be on the other. So it's essentially like
it kind of feels like it's like only certain superstars will be on certain shows, and the rest will be on. I don't know. That's how I get the feeling of it, but because they're wording it weirdly.
Yeah, it makes me question if they do have the unique roster. Are they going to try and bump SmackDown up to 3 hours in order to try and keep a level roster, or is it going to remain at 2 and they'll just say, okay, well, we'll just take 20 of our 50 people instead of 25 or something? I don't know.
I doubt it. I doubt SmackDown's going to be 3 hours. I was hoping they would knock an hour off of Raw. I think it would be advantageous for them to do a 2-hour Raw and a 2-hour SmackDown. I know I've sort of been missing a lot of the product just because of work, but I am as hardcore as it gets, and there aren't too many people like me who are on a pay-per-view weekend going to do a 4-hour special event into a 3-hour Raw into a 2-hour SmackDown. So that's a real significant time demand for anyone.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to dedicate to it. I mean, that's 9 hours in 3 days dedicated just to wrestling. So it's gonna. I think it'll probably be a little bit of a strain, to be honest. And I know we hinted at it before we started recording the show, but possible talks about what we're going to do as far as recording the podcast. Will we bump it to record on Wednesday night and have it released on Thursday so that we can cover SmackDown, or do we want to do our normal stuff and just kind of, I don't know.
I am in favor of moving to Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Because I personally just want to see the show.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, if we're going to do a podcast, we either need to be more expansive in what we cover outside of the WWE, or we need to at least make sure that we cover, if we're just going to cover WWE, I think we at least need to cover all the fucking shows, or at least the big ones.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just where I stand. I know that I'm I'm as guilty as anyone of not seeing too much shit just because shit's been bad for me, but I feel like the effort needs to be made on our parts if we're going to be I think we need to decide what our identity as a show is and then act accordingly. If we're not gonna cover all of WWE, then I think in this day and age, with the amount of podcasts that are out there, with the attention paid by so many podcasts, I don't think we can be a Raw podcast. I don't even like being like a Raw and pay-per-view podcast as is, but I think we at least have to cover SmackDown if we're going to cover WWE. Or if we're not going to cover everything WWE, I think we need to make a bigger effort to cover things outside the WWE. That's just where I stand.
Yeah, and I'm still falling further and further behind on Lucha Underground, and I still can't get into TNA. So I mean, it's just tough. I haven't watched NXT in a couple of weeks either. It's just time gets away from me, and build up your own routine and fall behind. I don't know. What do you think, Tyler?
I'm with him to move to Wednesdays.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I think it's the least we could do if we're gonna
give it a test try.
If we're gonna focus mainly on WWE, I think the least we could do is watch the fucking live shows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
cool.
I don't know.
All right. Well, for those of you who are listening, make sure you leave us a comment, give us your thoughts on the matter as well. And maybe we'll do sort of a mock draft or something to see who's going to be who we think should go to SmackDown, who should stay on Raw. Who knows? We'll see. But that does sort of play into the opening segment.
Well, hold on. Before we get into Raw, let's talk a little bit about. We just sort of mentioned the draft and the extension. Let's talk a little bit about what you expect to see and what you would like to see out of this. Because we're light on content anyway, so we might as well talk a little about this. What do you expect from this move for SmackDown, and what would you like? I was hopeful. I think it's unreasonable expectation to see them cut an hour, but I think trimming an hour off of Raw and having them both be 2-hour shows would be beneficial.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen just because they're the highest rated stuff on USA, and the reason they're getting more live programming is because USA is using what they have as a hot product too. I mean, it may seem like when you're inside the wrestling bubble, it seems like the product's not that hot to us, but it's still the highest rated show they have. Oh, I mean, I think that Mr. Robot thing may be like a big deal, but I think
for the rest of the year when they're in
I think
production,
consistently WWE still is like the ratings getter for them.
Yeah.
So,
and you kind of have to wonder, does the USA Network consider the third hour to be a failure? Because I think I saw a statistic that 78% of the shows of Raw that have been in the 3-hour generation have seen decline in ratings as opposed to the first two.
right.
So, yeah,
Do you think that is length of show or quality of show or both?
It's a combination of both, because if you can hold my interest, I'm going to watch it, as long as it's on. But if it's something where it was like WrestleMania, where by the end of it, you're like, dude, wrap it up. Like, let's go. People are going to start tuning out because, if we're getting exhausted from watching the product, then what does that say about the casual fan? So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sort of with you. I think this would be a good opportunity for them to say, well, hey, yeah, let's bump it back. Let's bump Raw back down to 2 hours.
Because they're still overall, they're going to be increasing their hours overall. It's just not by 2, it'd be by 1. It's not going to happen, though. It's just like what I would like to see from them.
Plus, they're under a contract. They have to be 3 hours for, a few years?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure they can work something out between them.
They, what, SmackDown's 1 hour or 2 hours?
2 hours.
2 hours.
2.
So,
it's just, it's as simple as it's easier to write a 2-hour show than it is to write a 3-hour show. You have less time to fill. You can, in theory at least, fill that time with more higher quality things because you're not stretching things.
Not every Raw will have to start with a 15-minute promo and a commercial. Yeah.
That's just how they shoot TV. That's not changing.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe they'll trim it down to like 10 minutes instead of 15.
Well, that's what so as far as what we would hope to see from like a brand split or an extension, they say extension, but to me that doesn't make sense, right? Because it's not, Raw is not extending. It's not, a brand extension is using the known brand to get over a new brand, but it's going to be, they're trying to say it's just split.
And what cracks me up is that they're emphasizing that it's going to be live. Whereas in the past, they haven't acknowledged that it was pre-taped. They act like it was live.
Well, I think they know that. I mean, you yourself have said that your motivation to watch SmackDown has hit significantly because you know what happens already.
Right. Like I get home from doing the podcast and I just pull up the spoilers and be like, okay, well, it looks like I didn't miss much.
I mean, sometimes we look at the spoilers while we're doing the show.
Yeah. So,
but as far as what I would like to see a real effort to make SmackDown a different feeling show than Raw. I know it's not going to look that different because overall the production team is still the same, but I know that
same
Ryan
stage.
Ward, it's going to have the
wrestling?
same. I mean, just the feel of the show. I know that Ryan Ward and Triple H, who were the acclaimed NXT team, or is the SmackDown team. So I would like them. Hopefully, they're given the opportunity to make it their own and like see what they can do. Hopefully, they can make it feel differently.
Like have Raw be run by Vince and SmackDown be run by Trips.
Well, yeah, I mean Vince and Kevin Dunn are going to run Raw, and I'm sure Dunn has, because his job title has still say in SmackDown, but hopefully it's significantly less. But I don't know. I would I hope that they find a way to make it unique. I hope that there's talk that they may go back to 2 titles, which I think is like a mistake. I think
2 main titles?
2, like a World Heavy and a WWE Champion.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big mistake. I would like to see them keep 1 main champion, and then I would like to see them elevate, hopefully, the U.S. and the United States, U.S. and the Intercontinental titles to the bigger brand titles. Well, how would you guys feel about them renaming, sort of getting rid of the history and the lineage of the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title, and making it like the Raw and the SmackDown title, and then having a World Heavyweight Championship? I know there's a lot of history, and I know there's a lot of lineage. But there's also a lot of baggage and a lot of bad years and years of people being unhappy with how those titles are used. I mean, and you can always bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying make a new title for it to be a different thing?
No, I'm just
like a different experience.
I'm just asking how you feel about it. How do you feel about changing the two secondary titles to new names, because you get like a fresh start with them? You have like 1 World Heavyweight Champion who's going to go between the brands. You're going to establish challengers on both brands, and you have like a Raw champ and a SmackDown champ.
I don't know. Like I feel it could be good, like when they split the guys up and say they throw NXT guys in there too, but like the new fresh matchups for the mid cards or whatever for a title, I think would, like, if they push that for the title, I think it'll be good. For me, it doesn't matter if they rename the title or whatever. I don't know.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm fine with them keeping the names and just having one be on one brand, one on the other. It's, it's all about how the titles are booked. If you have someone win it 1 week and then he loses it 2 weeks later, just on a regular, taping or a regular episode, then it kind of decreases its value. I mean,
depends on how it's done, but
yeah.
In general, it does.
It's all about how it's going to be booked. And if they actually say, okay, now we can put more focus on this title because it's exclusive to our show, that would be a way for them to elevate it. Because
in the past, they've had a bad habit of someone having the title, but, this person is not defending this title in the pay-per-view, or he hasn't defended it in, weeks or whatever. He just has it, and it's just weird because they just don't focus on that.
I know I'm not advocating that they change them. I'm just saying I'm just posing ideas to how this thing could play out and what are some things they could do.
I agree with him.
In all honesty, what is if you take away anything that's happened before John Cena sort of reinvigorated the secondary title scene?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are those titles meant for a decade before that?
Yeah, not a whole lot.
No. Because they didn't, did they, I'm trying to remember on certain parts, did it seem like it was a big deal when they had the brand split before? I'm not talking about that towards the end of that version of the brand split.
They started out strong. They were doing individual pay-per-views for the brands, which I think, would you guys, I mean, we're sort of segueing off of this, and I'll just say that I don't have a problem. I'm not making an argument that they should rename the titles. I'm just saying, I was posing the question, would that give it new life with this brand split, and would that mean these secondary titles feel more important than, whatever. But how would you guys feel if they started doing individual special events? They have their own network, and they don't have to worry about people buying it.
I never really saw that, when they were split, when they first began
doing the
splitting, because I never watched pay-per-views. Do what?
It was very watered down.
Because I never I didn't see what was SmackDown, the Great American Bash, and stuff like that. I didn't.
Could you guys even handle brand specific special events?
I think currently there's 12 pay-per-views a year.
Isn't there 13? Because they have
12 or 13, somewhere around there.
Because isn't there that 1 month
where they
there's
have
2 week,
within 2 weeks?
There's a 2 week turnaround on them.
Yeah. I would be fine if they have Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Money in the Bank be the joined pay-per-views. Where it's Raw and SmackDown, all the talent going to be on those shows. And then the others you could divide, as sort of throwaways, because that's how they're treating them now anyways. Like we're not getting a clear ending to a feud. It's just a continuation. And so, one SmackDown could have Extreme Rules, and then Raw could have Hell in a Cell, and then, SmackDown could have TLC, and then whatever. I mean, because they have so many gimmicky pay-per-views, I feel like they could divide it accordingly anyways.
Yeah, I don't know that I would be, confident that they could
pull it off.
Yeah, I get the argument that they have the network, so fill the network with original content. There's no reason not to have shows on the network all the time. They arguably could do a lot more than what they do with the network, as in terms of original first run programming that's specific to the network.
Yeah,
but I don't know that I am confident that they could not just waste my time with extra shows or whatever.
Yeah, I would say don't add any more pay-per-views. It's oversaturated as it is. But if you did, the Royal Rumble obviously is first, so that would be the join one. And then you could have what's in between Fastlane. That could be. Well, see that I don't know, because then it's right into Mania, so you would need both brands to be represented between there somewhere. Man, that's tough.
Yeah, I would. I'm actually just in favor of them sticking with the ones they have. I know that I don't see why they can't just have these matches are SmackDown matches and these matches are Raw matches on the same show, unless they are just start knocking this shit out of the water, which I am cautiously. Okay, I'm not cautiously optimistic. I'm actually kind of pessimistic on. But what do you guys think about? Here's what I would like to have seen, and it starts with I wish they would knock our hour off Raw. That's not happening. I know it's not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think it would help, especially when they're on a special event weekend where they're going to demand a Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night of people. I want them to have unique rosters and to keep them separated, except for the main champion.
Yeah. So you would have one tag team, one women's champion, one world champion, and then the two minor titles.
Well, let's debate that, because I think that a way to make the brands feel special is maybe they're going to crown. I think it sort of leaked out that they're going to crown a cruiserweight champion with the cruiserweight series, so that's going to be a title. I don't think it was mentioned that it was going to be specific to NXT, so I think it could be a main roster thing. It's possible. I don't know. I don't think they've been very clear about that, but I mean, you could have a champ that goes between challengers on both shows. You could have IC on one, Intercontinental on the other. I keep naming them both the same way on both US and IC on one. Maybe you put Cruiserweight on one show. That's why that would be a selling point for watching that show, have a unique division on there. I don't like the idea of putting all the women on one show though. So I guess maybe the women would have a floating champ the same.
Yeah.
And so would you put cruisers on one show, tag teams on one show? How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean,
it would give if you like tag team wrestling, then you watch Raw. If you like cruiserweight, you watch.
Because I don't think unless they have a resurgence of tag teams or whatever, I don't think it's necessary to have tag team championships for both.
I don't want
shows.
two tag teams.
No,
not again. I don't want that.
They've got a lot of teams, but they don't have a lot of teams they're doing a lot with.
Yeah.
So that is weird then. I don't.
So would you guys be in favor of, obviously, the floating champ and the floating women champ? Would you make the appeal of the shows that specific divisions to those shows, like a cruiserweight on Raw or SmackDown, and then a tag division on the opposite, as a selling point for that specific show?
I could see the SmackDown roster get the cruiserweights, because Vince is known for not really being fond of the smaller guys, the smaller, quicker guys.
Well, not so much where do you think they would fall, but
Right.
do you think it's a good idea to have specific divisions on specific brands? Do you think that's a selling point for a show?
Yeah, it could be, because it worked in WCW, because fans would tune in to watch the cruiserweights.
No matter what,
whenever they
if
were
you
going
have a
up against Raw.
specific roster and this guy's on this roster, you're gonna watch,
Or are you risking dividing your audience and saying, well, normally we get 2 million viewers, but now we're only getting 1 million because they don't want to see the people on our show and they're tuning into the other show.
I would think they would have to do it that way because they would have the tag team or whatever, say tag team on one show and cruiserweights on the other show. Because if not, if they're going back and forth, that's too many people still going back and forth on both shows again.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, why wouldn't you put the U.S. title and the cruiserweight title on this show, and then
But if they're still saying unique, I don't know.
I don't have a problem with champs floating so long as they are consistent about it, but I don't want to see the rest of the roster float so much.
How would they do such a thing where it's like, okay, the main champ has the title, he's on Raw, and his challenge.
The main champ doesn't have a show, is my point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is okay, the guy who's challenging for the title is on Raw. So is he only going to stay on Raw for that feud? Or
you mean he's not on SmackDown? Yeah, I would think that
whatever feud they're in with the person, they're going to stay on that.
I would think that the feud would play out on that show. I don't think it's a bad idea to have the champ float, but I could see an argument for keeping the champ on the show where the angle is playing out as a selling point for keeping him fresh, moving him back and forth between the shows. I just don't want the challengers, if a SmackDown guy is being built as the next challenger, he's got his shot, I don't want to see him on Raw. Unless I know they're going to do big joint shows. It's impossible for them to not do that. They're going to
a super show.
Yeah. I hope they don't do it too often though. I don't know. And
it's going to be 4 hours long.
As far as the Vince not wanting isn't put the cruisers not on Vince's show, I guarantee Vince is going to have some hands-on while SmackDown's still the shiny new toy.
Oh, yeah.
When it first goes live. I mean, there's all that talk about is Vince going to try and produce Morrow the way he produces the rest of the announce team, and is that going to take away from him? Is he going to get fed up with that and just go call boxing and MMA? Or?
Yeah.
When by the way, sorry it's off subject. When's the cruiserweight show?
July.
I
think they have tapings before that, but I don't think anything airs until July.
I think they've already, or no, that's the qualifying.
Yeah, they've done the qualifying matches.
This is partially pertaining because it's speculative of what might happen as far as the roster goes. What are y'all's thoughts on the announcement, or not necessarily announcement, but naming of the next NXT takeover with The End?
Speculation.
Yeah, when I first heard it, and then I heard there were people saying they looked up the NXT shows, and there aren't any shows past June, whatever, any live events for them or whatever.
I thought I saw there was something in July.
Maybe it was July, but there's nothing past that.
Oh.
Maybe I don't know.
They're having they're having the takeover Brooklyn right before SummerSlam.
Right.
But other than that,
which is the week after the week of SummerSlam is the week the SmackDown goes Raw or whatever.
Because Triple H did a weird cryptic thing, was it's NXT the end, what's gonna happen or something ... or something like that. It was a weird. No, I don't think I worded it correctly.
I think that I initially looked too much into it, and I think a lot of people did the same, but just because with all the news flying, and then everyone's endless speculation of what could happen or what's going to happen.
All of NXT is being called up.
Oh, they're for sure NXT dudes are getting called up, and not just a couple. They got to fill the fucking slots, especially after they lost all those guys right before they did it.
I liked your theory. I really did.
That's not my theory. I just heard people talking about.
I like your idea, or the idea that you came.
Yeah, I mean it's not my idea or my theory. I was just posting all the random speculation I was hearing about. Maybe NXT is not a thing anymore, and Evolve is now the NXT. I don't know. For sure, NXT guys are getting called up, and I don't think just a couple. Yeah. I think it may, if it sticks around, I think it may be a more true developmental than it has been.
Should be interesting. I'm curious as to how it's all going to play out. At least it's getting people talking, which is that's
all I know is I'm ready for Shinsuke Vince, Mojo, Austin Aries, all those guys on the main roster.
Yep.
I don't know if they're all going to be there, but I'd wager a bet that a significant amount of them are.
Within a 6-month time frame, yeah. Because they might hold some of them back instead of just be like, look at all these people. Yeah.
Or maybe
blow
not.
your load all at once.
Or maybe not. They've got like a new roster to fill. I mean,
Yeah.
Someone has to stay around, you know.
well, the people that would stay are for sure the actual developmental talent would stick around. Like your No Way Jose's, your Drifters, your those types of cats that are actually in there for development. And your other people you're just using to draw, well, now you have a larger brand that you need to draw with because they're going to do their own. Not only are they going to do their own live shows, they're going to do house shows on Monday nights while Raw's on. They're going to do SmackDown house shows on Monday nights, which is insane to me.
Are they really?
Yeah. They're going to have SmackDown house shows on Monday nights.
That's dumb. Whatever. Not my call.
Yeah, it is. Your
So-
call, sir.
If it is, I'd change it.
Are you
Change it.
guys excited? Are you guys pessimistic? Do you think this is going to fail? Do you think this is going to succeed? Are you excited? Are you cautiously?
I'm cautiously. I'm hoping for the best, but like I am nervous. I'm like I don't know what they're gonna do or what they could do because in my head I was like they could screw up certain things.
Oh, they will.
But I'm
screw
hoping
up
for the
certain
best.
things.
I mean, history says that they'll fuck this up because we've seen it before.
Yeah.
But
I'm definitely concerned because
a lot more riding on it this time, though.
yeah, I'm more concerned. I'm interested. Don't get me wrong, but I'm very concerned because, in my opinion, this week's Raw was terrible, and normally the SmackDown that follows it is just a copy base. You know, they copy whatever happened last week and play it on this week so that they can recap it on Raw the next week. You know, it's just.
I think they're trying. I think they have turned on the we're just going to tread water until then switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Seems like it.
I mean, if they're going to go in with that mindset, then they need to say, okay, well, if we're going to do that, then we need to give people a reason to tune into Raw.
Well, I think they did. They hot shot at a big angle.
Yeah, but that was the only angle that I felt was really worth watching.
It's a big fucking angle.
It is, but in a 3-hour program, a 15-minute segment isn't going to cut it.
Well, I think there was some other stuff I was stoked on.
Yeah.
I mean, Titus like shoot punching Rusev in the face was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen what they can do, and it's all going to depend on who's calling the shots. Because if you go back to like when Paul Heyman was, in a sense, running SmackDown, and they were doing very well in the ratings and stuff, you know, he knew what he was doing. But in the age that we're in now, with the people who are booking it and the writers and all that, and essentially the ultimate decision by Vince, I don't know how well it's going to do.
Well, your writing team is. I mean, if you're talking about SmackDown, because you mentioned Paul Heyman, your SmackDown writing team is your NXT writing team. So if you liked NXT, then you would have hopefully
Is that what they are now?
Ryan Ward and Triple H are going to run SmackDown.
Or they're going to, or they're doing it right now?
Ryan Ward's already writing on there, and I assume I don't think Triple H is. I'm sure he has whatever clout to say whatever, but I don't think he's like in charge of it like he's going to be. I think it's going to be like their show, but
Cool.
I might be misinterpreting.
Hopefully.
Which is why SmackDown will be 2 hours, and NXT they'll bring in as a 1-hour show program before it.
Nah, I mean I don't like that.
Okay.
I mean, there's already like, to me, there was not really a need to do a brand split because you already have like the split is the NXT.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do it, then there's not a need to add a third hour to SmackDown just to showcase the NXT guys.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a lot of those NXT guys you want to see are gonna be on SmackDown anyway.
Yep. So
I mean, are you real stoked to see the Drifter on SmackDown? Is that what you're getting at?
no, not particularly. Not
Are
particularly fond of him.
you like his like
Sure, squeak.
guitar
He's
skills,
very squeaky.
right? Like
No.
he sings pretty good.
No, he does not.
Oh,
So I don't know.
strangle a drifter.
We'll just have to see how it all plays out whenever it eventually gets here. But we kick Raw off with Shane and Stephanie coming out talking about pretty much what we talked about, but much less detail. And the New Day come out and are asking questions about it, and it turns into a half dance contest.
Well, hang on. Because they weren't answering any questions at all. Like, why have the New Day come out, ask those questions when they're not going to answer it? In due time, like, that was, in my opinion, pointless.
Yeah.
I think you guys are a little down on this, but I thought it was a good segment. I thought the New Day were funny.
I mean, they're funny, but I'm just trying to understand. I was like,
they're just getting the word. This is the first time on air that they mentioned this is happening.
Right.
You're taking for granted that everybody who watches the show saw the public announcement that you guys saw on the internet. Not everybody who watches the show like reads the fucking wrestling internet like we do every day. So this is their way of putting it out on their programming. This big thing is coming, and what's like a good hype way to get people to pay attention to it by having like the hot act be the people out there asking what the fuck's going on, like how's this going to affect us, what's going to happen. I thought it was a good use of New Day, and I thought it was fun and funny, and I didn't have any problems with it.
I just remember the crowd hardly giving a reaction at all during certain points. It was like,
I think they were trying to listen and see what they were going to say, though.
I guess so. They were it was dead quiet in the arena while they were talking.
I mean, the whole note that they didn't give any answers thing is they don't have the fucking answers yet. They decided this whole thing in like the last 2 weeks, and they're just like, USA wants them to do another live show, and they're like, all right, let's fucking make this work.
Yeah.
And then that's why there are no answers yet, because it's like shit's changing by the day, and shit's like getting made up as they go along, and that's how, everyone, there's so much speculation because that's all there is right now is like speculation.
Hey, here's the new script. Cue the music.
I don't know. I still just felt it was weird.
You guys, I'm not saying you guys had to be into it. I didn't have the problem that you guys apparently had.
Yeah, I felt myself being very negative towards this episode of Raw. I don't know. Did you feel that at all, Doug?
I don't think it was like a very good Raw. I think it was. I would agree that it was definitely in the lower end of Raws in recent times, but I don't think that. I don't know. I'd still like to acknowledge the parts of the show that I thought didn't have a problem.
Yeah, and there were a few highs that I did enjoy, but I felt like
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I felt like this Raw was a lot of filler. They did a lot of let's take you back and look at what happened 8 weeks ago or last month or this week or it's just I don't know. I was not into it very much. Now, there were a couple, like I said, things that I did enjoy, but overall I did not enjoy this Raw.
I think it's easy to say. I think it's an easy critique to be like, well, it fucking sucked. And I'm not saying you guys would be wrong to say that, but I think that's like an easy critique then to like say, well, like this was like this segment was worthy of praise or this match was decent or whatever. But like, how would you? I think there's a lot of truth to they're probably rewriting, or I think there is some truth to they may be cooling down angles and saving them, or they may be like going to tread water mode. If I was going to do this like new like relaunch, it's not a relaunch, but it's sort of like a relaunch in a way. Like, wouldn't you want like to save the hot shit for then? I don't know. They gave you like one of the biggest feuds they could give you on like the kickoff on this Raw.
Yeah, and like I said, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed. But like some of the matches, I wasn't really into.
Yeah.
So,
it wasn't good. Like I don't want to feel like people think I'm like, being like a defender of the show or like that I didn't say it was good. I don't know. It just was what it was.
We got to see the kickoff match, which was New Day going up against the Vaudevillains. This matchup ended in a disqualification. After
they were gonna let Stephanie dance in her little short shorts.
They were never gonna let her do that. Come on.
Are you kidding me? I saw GIFs all over the fucking internet of all the time she danced after they cut her off. They're like, oh, we'll never get to see it. And then people are just like, here's Stephanie dancing on this show. Here's Stephanie. There was actually other shows of her dancing with New Day.
Yeah.
From like just a few weeks ago.
But
I did think
I'm saying, like storyline wise, they cut out the lights and all that. So it's like
they shouldn't have cut her off.
I did think that's why they had her in shorts and not a dress, though.
A nice little skirt. Like, ooh.
She's got these shorts on. She's gonna get down.
She's gonna do some booty dancing.
There you go.
I thought it was cute. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm
no
still,
problem with that.
I'm still a total mark for the New Day. So like, maybe people are cooling down on the New Day. I still like them a lot.
I'm still a big fan of them. I just felt like, and they did an okay job. They did as well as I felt they could. But I don't know. Maybe it's the whole Shane and Stephanie bickering back and forth kind of thing. Maybe that's what's driving me away from it.
I didn't have
know.
no problem. Like, it was weird. I know they're gonna go back and forth, but the last two shows are on the same page, and they're showing bickering like out of nowhere. Nothing led up to it or whatever.
I don't know.
Well, the thing that I'm surprised about is not that. What I'm surprised about is that they didn't do an angle that led to this. They just said, "Oh, we just decided we're." I thought the payoff to the Stephanie Shane angle was the brand split, and now they're just like, "Oh, we're just going to do a brand split."
Yeah.
And maybe one will end up on the other show.
We don't know who's going to be running it yet.
Yeah.
So, which begs the question: who's running SmackDown right now? Nobody.
I guess nobody.
That's right. Where's Teddy Long when you need him?
I mean, you would think that the payoff would be Vince would be like, fuck it, you both get your own shows or whatever. But
Yeah. I've had enough of you two arguing. You go on this show and you go on that show. You get your roster, you get yours.
But, like, I'm surprised that they're, like, supposedly the beef is real between Shane and Stephanie. So, like,
I heard that as well, that backstage they are fairly separate from one another. So they
Wow.
Put their differences aside for
Brother
the camera.
and sister, they don't like each other.
Well, sibling rivalry and all that.
Because they're a McMahon, damn it.
Yep. Everyone wants to be on top. But that brought us into the New Day going up against the Vaudevillains. The match ends with a disqualification after Anderson and Gallows come out and attack. So that answers the question is who is going to feud with the New Day after the Vaudevillains. So
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I was like, hey, look, they're dominant looking now.
Yeah, makes them look like a credible threat to the tag titles.
Well, I mean, they did win the feud with Usos, who are former multiple time champs. So.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anything from the match itself?
Not really.
No. Okay. After that, we got to see a backstage segment with Apollo Crews getting a pep talk of sorts from the Big Show, which I'm glad we at least get to see something from Apollo Crews instead of him just walking out and having a match. Like, okay, he's getting to talk. We're getting to see some character development. Big Show's coming out.
Show was gonna start beating him up.
Heel turn.
I saw screen grabs that said first time Apollo Crews isn't smiling. Whenever he was first serious face, when he threw his hands up to Big Show and he was mugging him down.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only time that dude isn't smiling. I mean, look, dude's got a nice smile. If I had if I got nice teeth like that, I'd probably be showing them fuckers.
Oh, I have stained teeth. I'm just saying. I don't have white teeth.
He should be proud of it.
Mm-hmm. So after that, we got to see the Usos going up against the team of Breezango, which is Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
I'm taking their theme song.
I know you guys don't give a fuck, but I'm sort of into the truth.
The Golden Truth.
Golden Truth.
I like Goldust and R-Truth separately. I don't hate their tag team. I don't. Yeah. But I'm finding myself digging Breezango more for some weird reason. I guess how they move and talk and how they
it's the two male models.
They're gonna be jobbers, but I mean, or they're gonna lose or they're gonna pick up wins, but they're gonna lose to Golden Truth, and I'm fine with that. But I think I like Breezango more.
That's interesting because I couldn't give less of a fuck about Breeze and Fandango. I think I'm all about Truth and Goldust. First of all, Goldust's a better worker than fucking Breeze or Fandango put together, and I think Truth's rapping is good, so I like Truth. I mean, I thought they were good on commentary too.
I did laugh at R-Truth mistaking Byron for Coach. I thought that was pretty humorous.
Yeah, I think they play off each other well, though. I mean, I think them, their chemistry together, the way they fuck around and grab ass with each other, I think is really good. So I'm way into their Golden Truth, and I could give less of a fuck about Breeze and Fandango. I know everyone's like, oh,
I'm with Tyler on this one. I'm all about Breezango.
Oh, fuck you guys.
Febreze.
You guys are in for the
It would have been Febreze, but licensing and all that.
You guys are in for the rude awakening when they do that JOB to Golden Truth.
Oh,
I'm fine with them doing the
They're
job.
going to, for sure. I know that.
Look at the 3-man band. They got over as hell, and they were nothing but glorified jobbers. So, you like who you like. Don't who you don't. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, taste is subjective.
Yeah.
You guys just have the wrong kind.
Hey, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So after that, we got to see Roman Reigns come out and cut a promo calling out Seth Rollins. Rollins comes out looking like he's going to charge the ring, but then he backs off. And he grabs the mic and he's not going to talk. And he charges the ring and he's not going to go. And he goes backstage and he comes back out and he doesn't do it. Oh, it's all mind games. It's psychological. He's messing with your head. But for me, I didn't really dig it.
He looked like a big fucking goof.
Yes.
It looked awkward.
And the thing that I was so perplexed by is the crowd was eating it up. They were like, "Oh, Seth Rollins,
he's gonna do it
he's
now."
So fucking. Roman was the one who's like, "Fuck you! You want to fight? Let's fight!" Like, and then everyone was like, "Oh, that Seth Rollins is such a evil genius." I was like, "No, he just looks like a big dumbass." You're booing Roman, who's just standing in the ring, looking real pissed off. He's like, "Yeah, let's fucking fight." And you're like, "Oh, that Seth Rollins is so cool." No, he looked like a big fucking goof.
He's pretty cool.
He looked like a dumbass.
And going back to last week's episode, I know we talked about the Styles and Roman Reigns match, how you were considering it the top match in WWE.
Real fucking good.
I went back and rewatched it.
Did you?
I
Last
see
night?
where you're coming from. I watched it during my lunch break today. I saw where you're coming from. It's Nakamura and Zayn just squeak it out just a little bit more for my personal taste.
See, I would have them at number 2.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, I know it's an Extreme Rules match, so anything goes, and that also prompts the turf war with Gallows and and Anderson and the Usos, which prompted them to come out and help your boy do all that. I don't know. I liked the chaos and the destruction, and I really dug the spear, the missed spear into the timekeepers area and all that. Like, it was a very well done match. And if you watched it and didn't think so, go back and rewatch it, because I found a better appreciation for this matchup the second time around. But yeah, Nakamura and Zayn, I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was the first time that I watched it that I had that feeling. It just squeaks out. So yeah, I'm kind of curious as to how they're going to do it. I mean, going back into Roman and Rollins, I understand Rollins was the mastermind while Roman was the muscle. So Rollins can't necessarily charge him head on.
Yeah, but he looked like a dumbass.
He did. He really did. There are better ways that they could have booked that.
It wasn't like I'm a smart chicken shit. It was just like I am a full-on fucking goof.
Yeah, and
He kept like, "Oh, you think I'm going away? No, I'm not going away." Like, that's stupid. That's not cool or clever or psyching anybody out.
half the time I was expecting someone to like jump in the ring and attack him from behind.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was like stalling for something.
If he did that, like,
It's like, if I charge the ring, he's going to be completely focused on me, in which case someone can get behind him. Like, I was expecting something like that.
If he did it once, it would have been fine. He did it 5 fucking times.
yes,
I
that
was
was
like, what in
that
the
was
fuck are you doing?
repetitive and strange.
Did not like that. But after that, we got to see Rusev going up against Zack Ryder, and I didn't
really. Oh, sorry.
I didn't catch it, but apparently Lana dropped her accent
Yeah, at the beginning.
whenever she was introducing Rusev. She did.
I'd have to go back and rewatch it. I didn't pick up on it.
I think I was doing something else at the time. I don't recall.
Really, in my head, I really thought this is gonna be Rusev and John Cena stuff before we knew.
Yeah,
I think that's where they were going, and I think that with the brand split, I think they are going to hotshot a big angle because maybe these guys aren't going to be on the same brand come July.
Interesting. So Rusev does end up defeating Zack Ryder, and
Fired up Titus O'Neil came the fuck out.
heck yeah, he
That was
did.
good. I liked
Punching
it.
motherfuckers in the face. Unprofessional stiffness.
So wait, is this the first time he's back on TV?
No,
Like,
we've
roster-wise?
seen him once, I think.
He's
Since.
done some. He's definitely
wrestling wise.
He's definitely done video packages and stuff. He might have been in the ring. I'm not sure.
Probably like in a battle royal or something.
Maybe.
He has been seen, I know, on
Yeah.
TV since his suspension was done. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna see Titus and Rusev.
I don't know that I don't know that they're stylistically they're gonna mesh well enough to have a good match.
Yeah.
But I love the fuck out of this segment. I thought like fired up Titus O'Neil like punching dudes in the face was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you guys know how I feel about Rusev, so
See, I'm digging it because Rusev historically has gone up against smaller guys. So this is a really good challenge.
Not really. He's had the Henry stuff and the
that's
Swagger's
true
a
too.
big dude.
Yeah. But I guess just because of his size. Yeah, I guess just because of his size overall, he's sort of a larger, bulkier dude. So this would be a really good challenge for him.
Also, it's just good for the throw Titus in there. You know,
yeah,
he deserves
it gets him some shine.
I mean, it may have only been this one thing. I don't even know if it's going to be like a.
It'll be a blow off on SmackDown this week or something.
He's going to make it a win.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they have a good match in them. I just thought that segment was super hype.
Well, I know Rusev has the ability to bring a good match.
Look, I like Titus. I don't want to throw him under the bus. He is limited, though. But what he does well, he doesn't try to do anything he doesn't know how to do, which I think is a plus. And when he does well, he does well. So, you know, I don't know. I thought he looked sharp here. He just was like angry and fucking punching dudes in the face, which is, you know, very cool in professional wrestling. Because as much of a fight as pro wrestling is supposed to be, sometimes we just don't get angry dudes punching each other in the face.
That's all you need sometimes. It's exactly what you need. After that, we got to see the video package from Charlotte telling off Ric Flair and some of the superstars responding to it.
You missed was, I don't know if it was during this time, was Stephanie griping out Charlotte.
Yeah, saying you're not a proper champion, or
which is so
like
weird
that.
to me. Because I feel like Stephanie's just putting on a front right now, but whatever.
And the fact that like 2 weeks ago she slapped Ric Flair in the face, saying "I have no respect for you," and now she's like, "How dare you disrespect your father like that?" Just the little things.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally out of character for her. And I know she's doing the "I'm a babyface" now while she's trying to portray the babyface. And
It's
trying
okay
to
cheer
get
me.
away.
I'm the cool mom, remember?
But even then, that was like really weird. It's just a weird all the way around.
Yeah. After that, we got to see Enzo and Cass. They got to cut a promo.
It was a little too cute. I think that it felt like the writers had something for Cass to say. It's almost like they're like, "Hey, writers, come up with some shit for Cass to say."
Come up with a bunch of cheese.
It was too much. It was too much.
Too much cheese.
And it didn't feel like them. Like the rest of the stuff they've said has felt like them. This didn't feel like authentic.
Cass did that.
Yeah, he's done that before.
He's done that before. The whole name something over and over. And he's done this is like a second time, I think, because that was
with
before
cheese.
Not with cheese,
other foods,
but like he'll name something and get the fans to say how you doing. I think they're trying to get him to warm up to cut more promos.
I think they're splitting these fuckers up in the draft.
Oh, don't say that.
Vince is waiting to Cass.
Yeah, that's true. But don't say that.
I mean, what do you guys don't think it's gonna happen?
It's not that I don't think it's going to happen. It's that I don't want it to happen, so I don't want anyone to say that it's going to happen.
You don't want me to put it out there in the universe?
No! Don't you put that on them.
I think it would be better for them in the long run if they stuck together for a while.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better for them to progress and grow.
Get established with the main crowd.
I don't think
not
there's
just
any
the people who watch NXT.
I think there's absolutely zero upside to breaking them up right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to happen.
They like to get the rocks off of breaking people, up.
Well, and you can tell that they're going to build Cass as a big star. So I think that they're having him go out there and say these different types of things to get the crowd to say how you doing. It's a way to say, hey, I can carry myself. Enzo, he's good to go when it comes to being on the mic. Cass needs a little work, so this is a chance for them to say, go out there, do this.
Yeah, but Cass is further along in the ring than Enzo is.
Oh, yeah.
I would rather see Enzo be Cass's manager than them breaking them up as a team.
Yeah. I just want those guys to stay together. How you doing? Good stuff. So,
I think it's going to happen, though.
They end up fighting the Dudley boys.
People, don't break them up. You know what they are? They're a bunch of haters.
Yep.
Bunch of haters.
Couple haters.
You mean a couple of haters?
Couple haters. I mean, it's just the little one-liners that you get from those guys. It's very entertaining. Now, one team that I won't mind if they end up splitting up, because we've seen what happens when they do, is the Dudley Boys. Like, we know what Bubba is capable of doing. Devon, not so much.
Man, fuck that. I hope they keep... The Dudleys are where they should be, putting over the other tag teams. I think the upside to the Dudleys is the vet team that people get a step up on.
Are you?
I think they're
trying
good
to
as they are.
hint towards Bully Ray stuff that was
Not necessarily
in TNA?
bully, but I was saying we
He
know
did a
that,
single run.
yeah,
so
we know
is
that
what
he's
you're
capable
hinting at?
of carrying himself. So I would be okay if they split that team up. That's all I'm saying.
I think they need to stay together. I think they're there. They should be there just to put other teams.
So
over.
you're saying you want to see Reverend Devon
No.
and Deacon Batista?
So anyways, Enzo and Cass end up defeating the Dudley Boys. Anything to take away from the matchup?
Not really.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, after that, this was the segment that had people talking about Raw. This was the highlight. This was the main event in sorts. The return of John Cena, saying that he's back. A lot
Came
of
out
new
and said speech.
a lot of new faces around here, but they're gonna have to go through me to prove that they belong.
If I'm the face that runs the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I wasn't thinking AJ Styles. Like, who's going to come out? Who's going to come out? And
Yeah.
my stupid head didn't think AJ.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise to see AJ Styles come out.
Like, someone new hasn't came across.
Well,
Come on, Tyler.
when the Rusev thing didn't play out, then I thought it was going to be AJ. Because I thought, but they swerved to me because I thought it was going to be they show mutual respect. The club comes out and then they team up against the club. Or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
And
exactly
I think
what I
a
was
lot
thinking
of
too.
people were thinking that as well, which was a very good bite.
Because also in my head, I was past like, okay, they're separated, like Anderson and Gallows with AJ. So in my head, I'm like,
They went their
Finn's
separate-
going to come in, eventually they're going to screw AJ over, and that's going to be that club. And I didn't see this coming.
They actually did it well because they're usually very short-sighted, and I guess they didn't have that long to be short-sighted because they played it out just a couple of weeks later. But they did. At least they didn't have them like get into altercation over. They weren't happy about it, but like the way they broke up, it makes sense that they could have said we were just working people the whole time to like get a one up, or if the thing is AJ would just realize that he needed them and couldn't win without them because he lost to Kevin Owens the next night. He lost his title match.
Yeah.
I mean, that is open to interpretation as well. Either one of those you could make sense of from the way they broke up.
Yeah, and they did such a good job of selling it even after that, because on Raw, in a backstage segment, they're like, "Oh, we're not done yet. We're not done with AJ Styles either. You're all going to see." And then even coming out to face AJ Styles and John Cena, they were still selling, we're here to kick ass, and that includes you, AJ. Like, we're here to kick your ass too.
Also, like I felt weird with certain things, like when AJ was extending his hand and John Cena wasn't gonna like shake it. I was like, is John Cena gonna hit AJ, or is he gonna like just walk away? Like, I don't have respect for you
I
or
don't
something.
respect you.
It just seemed a little like it was a long
Get out of my
pause.
ring,
That's
kid.
when the music hit.
It was just like caution. He was like, "Do I trust this guy?" But I did a double take because I was watching, but then like I saw AJ like hit like clothesline him. I was like, "Did AJ?" I had to be like rewind in my mind. I was like, "Wait, did that just happen?"
Yeah, it was very well done. The crowd was hot as hell for
Before
just those
before
two
they
guys
turned.
standing in the
Before
ring.
the turn, they were just like, "We want to see these fucking guys."
Yeah.
Like,
That was like 2-3 solid minutes of the fans going
What
back
was-
and forth.
what was
you can
hilarious.
tell AJ was like, "Fuck,
Damn.
What was hilarious is John Cena came out. There was a lot of boos.
Oh yeah.
He did a speech. Everyone's going to respect that. Memorial Day, yes.
I thought it was like cheap heat. I thought it was like he's like, well, I'm not gonna get booed. I'm gonna fucking say the patriotic shit, and
Yeah.
they're gonna look like assholes if they boo me.
yeah. And then
Crowd control 101.
AJ came out, and I thought the crowd was going to be stupid. Like, they were going to have AJ there, and they were going to be like, John Cena sucks. I thought they were going to say that. But AJ Styles, John Cena, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was a
boos.
really special moment.
No boos.
I mean, it reminded me of the Rock Hogan moment when they both, look in opposite directions, and then they look back at each other, then they look the other way at the crowd, and who's just losing their minds over this kind of stuff. So it's definitely a match that I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope that these guys get to
They're
tear
going
the
to put on a
house
good
down.
show, I believe.
Yeah.
AJ's not that great. I mean, okay, AJ's better at being a babyface than a heel, so I think it's again a little bit playing against his type to make him a heel. But I know people are gonna be like, "Well, the Bullet Club, we're heels in Japan." Yeah, but in Japan, the fucking majority of the audience who watched in Japan spoke Japanese, so they didn't know what the fuck he was saying. He was just like annoyingly talking in a language they didn't understand. So it didn't matter that he wasn't the greatest heel there. I mean, I think naturally he feels like a
Babyface,
like
yeah.
the way that Orton naturally feels like a heel, and he's sort of like when he's a babyface, it feels forced and fake, you know? Like AJ feels like a babyface, so it's sort of they're sort of like playing against him. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a hell of a match.
But we do know one thing for certain, that is the AJ Styles that Gallows and Anderson love.
Yep.
They said it numerous times, and to make sure that the officials picked up John Cena's teeth.
Well, pick up his teeth. We know that Finn and AJ are not going to fight each other.
Not anytime soon, at least.
Did you guys think that they changed direction on this because of like all the big shit that's coming? Because it felt like these were rewrites, and it felt like let's do this while we can, or let's a bunch of shit got shifted around, and they're like, well, we need something, and they're like, well, what can we do? And they're like, well, we could do AJ and Cena. Did you think this was the plan all along, or do you think they changed it?
Oh, I didn't think anything at all.
I didn't have any expectations because I didn't know what was going to happen after AJ. Well, I thought AJ was going to fight the Club. That's until Finn came in. That's what my thought process is. And then John Cena, I thought was just him and Rusev.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I got the impression that they changed it. I think they hot-shotted the feud, but it was pretty well done, so I'm not really complaining.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with it. So it was really well done. So, like I said, that was the best thing about Raw. Yeah. So after that, we got to see Dana Brooke going up against Natalya. This was kind of a short matchup, and Charlotte was there causing a distraction. And
Charlotte was there.
And Dana Brooke ends up getting the win.
Yeah, it was really weird how Dana Brooke did like the call out Charlotte thing. It's like that feels like the thing the boss does, and then and she definitely. I would be very careful not to give the impression that she's like calling any shots or anything. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. At least they got something for my girl to do though.
But after the matchup, Dana Brooke and Charlotte were looking to rough up Natalya some more, but Becky Lynch came out to make the save.
But when I said at least I got something for my girl to do, I meant at least I got something for Becky to do.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
That makes more sense.
Which one's your girl? I'll let you boy.
I don't even mean it like that. Like, I'm just mean like, you know, I like and appreciate her, so I'm glad that she's doing something.
Yes.
Other than not being on TV.
Yeah. After that, we got a backstage segment with Dolph Ziggler talking about his match with Baron Corbin, talking about the technical wrestling and all that.
Lame promo.
I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
It was. I didn't enjoy that at all.
He did the Jericho 1004 holds promo, but,
Yeah.
he did it really bad.
Yeah, I rolled my eyes.
I can do an arm bar and a chin lock and an arm bar and
Super kick,
a super kick and an arm bar. I could do this all day.
which isn't a hold. A super kick isn't
Yeah.
a hold.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fucking like emphasis on technical just for him to like fucking hit him in the nuts though. Were you guys into that? I sort of liked it.
I thought it was hilarious.
Fuck,
When he
on.
started putting the headgear on and the mouthpiece, I'm like, my God, what have they done to his character?
Because I was
what
like,
is
he doesn't do technical.
What have they done? Yeah, he does. Well,
Not like
he
the
wasn't
amateur
supposed to.
stuff.
Yeah.
He has an amateur background, but he does not incorporate it.
Yeah. And then the bell rings and he comes up and just kicks him in the dick.
I laughed.
I was kind of into it. I was kind of into it.
I cracked up laughing, and I'm like, well, wait a second. He's supposed to be the good guy. That's not really what good guys do under any circumstance.
At least, yeah, that's true, but I prefer that to him being a whiner about
He cheated.
Yeah, like it was legal in the match. He lost within the parameters of the match, even though you got fucking your dick punched. I mean, it was legal. So, I mean, I guess the alternative were to be like, yeah, okay, you can fucking win by hitting me in the nuts, but you can't like out wrestle me. So let's have a fucking wrestling match. Are you man enough to fucking wrestle me? I mean, I guess that could be, or they could have done this where he's like, yeah, a fucking ball for a ball. Like I'm gonna fucking like.
I'm just imagining they have their next matchup. It'd be a no disqualification, and the bell rings. They both walk towards each other, and they both go to kick each other in the nuts. Like,
you know those like double super kick spots where one guy gets knocked out. They're like,
and they both go down. Oh,
What was that? The past few games when you could create your own move or whatever, like people were like chaining like nut kicks and like punches and stuff. That's your special move.
I'm gonna hit you in the dick over and over again.
I don't know where we get from here, but I was sort of into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was too.
It was very strange. So,
well, it was just like subvert your expectations, brother. Like technical wrestling. I've got my amateur headgear on, and the bell rings. He just fucking kicks him in the dick.
and I love that Cole was like, "What the hell did he just do?"
So it's good because it threw me off my game, and I like that.
And see, I like that.
It was a little something unexpected.
I think I like that he was just like, yeah, I got DQ'd. The match is over. I like that he didn't like jump him after it. It was just like a ball for a ball, like eye for eye, ball for a ball. It's like I got my fucking nut shot back. And he's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Yeah, I lost my DQ.
Peace.
Later.
Enjoy that winner's purse. So yeah, very very interesting way to start and end a match, I guess. But that takes us into the main event. Sami Zayn.
Well, they had a thing backstage earlier in the night, which the teams talking to each other, talking about their individual guys.
What was it with Ambrose?
Ambrose is like,
he's got an issue with Canadians apparently.
Yeah, because of Jericho and Kevin Owens are from Canada. He doesn't like them or whatever. He's like, well, they come from Canada.
Canadians, man.
And Sami Zayn was trying to say that he was Canadian, and he finally did. And
oh, that explains a lot. That was weird.
They did that with both teams because they did he doesn't like Ambrose doesn't like Canadians, and Zayn was like, I'm Canadian, right? And then Jericho did he said something in French Canadian, and he
like,
goes,
I know.
That means this, and he goes, yeah, I know. So they did it for both teams. Like, we get it. Yeah, we're French Canadian.
Get it? So so it was Zayn, Cesaro, and Ambrose going up against Owens, Jericho, and Del Rio.
I did sort of like Owens be like, yeah, I don't actually have a personal problem with anybody but Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the matchup itself?
It was that multi-man, like, everybody
tag match player.
Yeah, it was that multi-man WWE like Raw main event where they just went out and did spots and stuff.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. Tyler? Same. All right. Well, Sami, Cesaro, and Ambrose end up getting the win. So, yeah.
Who do you guys think is getting the last spot, though, is the question.
Huh?
Who do you guys think is getting the last spot is the question. Into Money in the Bank.
See, I don't know, because they made it seem like it's going to be a 6-man, but still on their website, there's a mystery opponent.
There were 7 silhouettes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was to begin with, but throughout the night, I don't believe I could be mistaken.
Think they're gonna phase it out quietly and be like,
possibly, because they made no mention of there's still one more spot to go. Who's going to be the 7th person? And
still got a couple weeks.
Well, yeah, but it was just the fact that it was like the 6 competitors in the Money in the Bank and 6.
I hope it's not like a returning Randy Orton or something.
No, I hope not. I heard speculation that people would like to see Bray Wyatt, although I don't know what his injury status is or return table. Yeah, I know he's still out for a while.
What was his again? What's his injury?
Torn meniscus, I think.
Was that in the knee?
Yeah.
It is good. I miss him. He'd be the perfect fit for this match because he could do the high spot shit and he could be the big brawler guy.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. I don't know if they're going to do a 7th person now, but
see, I sort of feel like I wish Bray would just sort of be like Harper would be the guy, and then like Wyatt's just his mouthpiece or whatever.
Yeah. But that takes us into the hot topics. For those of you who weren't following,
before that, have you noticed that Braun and Eric Rowan haven't been on TV?
What the fuck are they going to do without Bray and Luke?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't be a tag team just like beating up people.
They're just going to be sheeple.
So they're just keeping them off.
They don't have anybody to tell them what to do. Like they can't make it in the world on their own. They've got to have someone to boss them around.
Yeah, man, tie your shoe. I don't know how to tie my shoe.
So, yeah, who knows? But for those of you who've been following WWE, they released a tweet of some sort, hyping a hatch, if you will.
What's that?
I don't know.
Like an egg hatching?
There's no telling. It was just like hashtag hatch. And it was very speculative, but they announced it on Raw that it was the announcement of WWE 2K17. And
How does it?
it was like a particular picture that was also used in the film that they shot. I don't know.
How does Hatch play in?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It was just something to get people buzzing.
Okay.
Like, oh, what does this mean? Could it
Give
be
him a beer.
Is it a new stable? Is the return of Bray Wyatt? Is this guy coming in? So it was just something to get people talking, and it ended up being a video package.
They disappoint everyone's expectations by just being about the video game.
Yeah, about the video game with Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg is the special pre-order character, and if you pre-order now, you get not one but two skins of Goldberg. You get the black trunks and the black and white trunk Goldberg.
Some people do it right now to get both.
Yeah,
I saw
and two WCW rings.
What about in a little while? I have to do it today?
Well, I'm not sure if you do it before the thing comes out.
I saw
it's pre-order
online,
bonus. Yeah.
Some people were like, "Oh no, that's awesome! He's gonna be on the cover of 2K17." I was like, "No. He's just a pre-order bonus. He's not the main."
Just like Sting was, just like the Ultimate Warrior.
It hasn't
was.
even been that long since he's been in the game, though, you know?
Yeah, like 2014, I think.
Yeah.
2K14 was the last year he was in, I believe.
And they're hurting for DLC, I guess.
Yeah. But for those of you who watched the video who might not have caught it, obviously Goldberg's being escorted by the police to the police car. He gets in the car is driving away, and you see Goldberg kind of look over, and there's something reflective in the window, and it's a billboard that says Suplex City. So very...
See, I missed the thing.
Yeah, it's very, you kind of have to, obviously you have to be able to read it backwards, but, there are still pictures circulating throughout the internets that point it out.
So
they're going to redo that awful Mania match
God,
where
I
they're
hope
leaving?
not.
This means you can redo the feud in 2K17.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people going, "Oh my God, that means Goldberg's going to be back.
He might be on
He's going
TV.
to be fighting against Brock Lesnar."
I mean, if he's got
Laser.
I mean, they've got to be on like good speaking terms for him to be in the game. So
yeah,
who knows? Maybe he'll make an appearance.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be wrestling, but
we'll see.
Get Goldberg in the Hall of Fame.
Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. Other bit of Hot Topic news, Cody Rhodes, he released a list of people that he wanted to face once he is allowed to do so, and it has been announced that his first post-WWE match will go against Kurt Angle.
for who?
For Cody Rhodes.
For what promotion?
Oh, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
I forgot all the people on this list, but I remember was Ricochet one of them, Hero, Young Bucks, Adam Cole. I forgot the other people.
Should be pretty good to see. Best of wishes to him. But with that being said,
do you think he's like, I should have waited like a few weeks and I could have been a bigger deal on SmackDown or something? Or do you think they've just been like treating him the same no matter what?
Treating him the same.
Probably the same, because they'd still keep him in the Stardust gimmick.
Do you think he regrets it, or you think he's like, yeah, fuck, I don't care?
Nah,
He's probably in his head, this is probably a good thing. I'm going to go and, have some fresh matchups, do a character how I want to do my character.
Here's the thing, though. How many places are going to pay him what he's probably going to be expecting to make?
Well, he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, so he won't go in there with a massive ego or anything. So
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
Those guys seem to come out with a very high price tag.
Well, I'm sure they do. They don't want to go out there and be like, yeah, $200, I'll do it.
Well, of course not. But is anyone going to be, or not anyone? Some places will obviously.
Yeah.
But are many places going to be able to afford him for him to be utilized like you think he's going to be? Because I tell you right now, Ring of Honor. I mean,
no, they can't afford that.
They Sinclair technically could afford them, but they won't. Sinclair won't give them the budget for that, even though they technically could.
Yeah.
I mean, New Japan could pay him what he would want. And probably just because he's Dusty's kid would maybe even feature him in a high position. But, I mean, Ring of Honor is not going to pay him what he would expect to make.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I don't know. But I think that's just something that he would probably be willing to work on or work out. Because if there's a list of people he wants to wrestle, he's going to wrestle them. It doesn't matter where or when. But it's just a matter of, okay, how much do the fans want to see it? How much do you want the fans to come to your place and see it? just sort of something like
Yeah,
that.
but
I mean, I'm sure they'd be fine wrestling in a gymnasium or something, and just to say, yeah, dude, we had a kick-ass match.
Find that list.
But yeah, it was.
I don't know. I don't know that I think that. I'm sure the guy loves wrestling. I'm sure he wants to go out there and have cool matches. I don't know that I get that he's a guy who's gonna take a significant pay cut just to do it, though. I don't know.
Not necessarily a pay cut, but it's just one of those.
Well, I mean, it's just like, who can afford him?
Yeah.
New Japan can afford him. Ring of Honor can't. If Ring of Honor can't, then that means all those other independents can't either.
TNA can, and Ryborg, and
I mean, maybe they can, but I mean, maybe some of his checks are going to bounce. I don't know.
Adam Cole, Dalton Castle, Bola. Who's Bola?
Battle of Los Angeles is a PWG tournament.
Oh, gotcha. Angle, Hero, The Miracle, Moose.
You better hurry up because Moose can get his ass signed by the WWE with all this fucking shit going on.
Pat Buck.
Moose's contract's about to be up, and they're going to sign his ass.
You think so?
His contract's up in like August, and in July, I mean, maybe it's in the next month his contract's up. Him and Roderick Strong's contracts are both up in the next couple of months, and I would not be surprised.
Roderick Strong is one of the people he wants.
You better hurry up on those dudes because they may get signed.
Young Bucks, Trevor Lee, Shibata, how you say it?
Shibata.
He wants to be a personal ring announcer. And
I think he wants Eden to be his personal ring announcer.
I guess he wants to be an event where they throw streamers because they said the streamers thing.
Here's the real question: how many places is he going to talk himself out of a deal at just because he insists that Eden gets booked with him, and they're going to be like, "No, we can't afford that."
We are a duo.
Well, no, she's doing her own thing now. She announced on her Twitter that she has taken a position at a new job.
Yeah.
So that would be strictly for she wanted to tag along. So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Did you guys get to watch the Seth Rollins 24/7 video?
No.
Man, I enjoyed it.
Let me guess. They made him seem like an awesome, hardworking babyface, and then they brought him back as a heel. They made him seem like a likable, hardworking guy.
Yeah, they did. They went to his dad's basement where he watched all kinds of stuff, and they had a portal where RVD would have walked through. Because he seemed like a cool guy.
A portal?
What? Yeah. Like, there's like, they went into the basement, and it's just like black cement bricks. Mm-hmm. And they used like chalk to write all kinds of stuff, like bands that they were listening to. And on the door to go back upstairs, they have "Help Me" written backwards in honor of Al Snow. Mm-hmm. And they drew like a portal on the wall that's supposed to be only for Rob Van Dam to come through because they were big fans of his.
Yeah. I'm just giving him a hard time. I mean, the outside the ring stuff, it doesn't bother me that they get out of character for. I just don't like it when they can't decide how they want a guy to be in character on screen.
Yeah. I mean, it was really well done, and obviously, I did enjoy the story that they told between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, where he was like, my very first match was in this particular place, and it was against AJ Styles. And after the match, he gave me the good rub, got on the microphone and be like, dude, this guy's only 19 years old, and he's going to be a star. And then we went to the next town the very next night and wrestled again, and I offered to buy him dinner, and AJ Styles said, no, man, I got it. Just pay it forward. And he was like, that really stuck with me, and that makes me want to give back. And that's how they rolled it into his wrestling school that he has now. And he was like, as simple of...
Who has a wrestling school?
Seth Rollins. He was like, as simple of offering to pay for another man's meal, you know, that really stuck out with me to want to give back to wrestling fans who want to become superstars.
Now I teach kids for free.
No, not quite. But it's at least worth checking out. It was, you know, they showed the struggle that he had to go through in order to recover. He was trying so hard to get back in time for WrestleMania, and they showed him at WrestleMania in like one of the suites, and you could just see his face like he wished that he could have been there so bad. You know, and they talk about it. It was like, you know, last year I walked out I closed WrestleMania as the WWE champion, and this year I'm not even on the card. Like, that eats me up inside. I don't even want to be here right now. Like, I want to go back and start training. So it was really well done. It's worth checking out. So with that being said, let's go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. Only question coming to us this week from Simon saying, great show as always. Regular listener from the UK. What do you guys think about the brand split announcements? Does it mean more call-ups from NXT? And do you think SmackDown will claim its place back from NXT as the second show in WWE behind Raw?
Possibly.
Also gutted Cody Rhodes has gone, but understand his reasons. He's a good talent. Just hope wherever he goes, they give him a good shot, or when and if he returns, he is used properly. Very talented guy. Keep up the good work.
We kind of sort of inadvertently talked about before we got there. Sorry, Simon, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Simon, but thank you for listening, man.
Yeah, we certainly do appreciate it. Really good. Love it.
Yeah, I do think NXT is going to get called up, and yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it does take its place as the second show. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. We'll have to see how it all plays out.
I'll tell you what.
As the future holds.
Lots of weird shit has happened this past year in professional wrestling, and it looks like wrestling's just going to keep getting weirder.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool and fun. I don't know.
And you're leaving for like the next month, so we won't get to hear your opinions on this, unless you just want to call into the show, in which case we totally
I most likely won't have seen anything to talk about.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. But, yeah.
But at least I'll get it done before.
You're going to come back, and like the entire wrestling world is going to be changed forever.
I mean, I'll be back before shit gets on and popping too good.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll have some clarity as to what's going on. But, Doug, we certainly hope that you have a wonderful vacation, and make sure you come back, because we want you to come back.
Yeah, I mean, if people are like, worried about me not being here or anything, I mean, it'll just be just like this whole fucking year where I haven't been here. You'll keep right along listening, and nothing will change.
Much like whenever I went on my honeymoon, and anytime you really go on vacation, you're like, no, I don't think I'm going back. I'm just going to stay here. That's what I mean.
Oh.
Just make sure you come back. Come back to us, Doug.
Yeah, man, I'll be back.
We need you. So,
back.
So, yeah, so that's going to do it for us this week. Hey, we ended up going pretty long anyway, so not too bad. So make sure you submit questions to our YouTube channel, WNSvideo, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. You can check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Subscribe to our show on iTunes. Feel free to give us a review by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We are on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
At WNS Podcast, at WNS_Daniel, at Tyler_Abear on Twitter.
There you go. So that's going to do it for us this week for the podcast crew. I am Daniel Heron.
I'm A Bear.
I'm Doug, and I'm Audi 5000.
And we will catch you all next week.